Hey everybody, it's the TV Pessimist. Fuck this show we're about to talk about. Heroes. Worst fucking show I've ever seen in my whole life. This show sucked. Okay, okay, okay. Heroes is another show that I watched after its prime. We can lump in fucking True Blood with that. I think True Blood was like just starting to finish up, or like it was in its next to last season when I started watching. Um, Walking Dead was huge, and when I jumped into it, so Game of Thrones, same thing. Lost was a show that was already done, and I watched it. Breaking Bad, which we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get to that. And Scrubs was a show that was finished when I watched it. Um, Heroes, I remember it came out, and the whole "Save the Cheerleader, Save the World" thing was going on, and it was like, okay, that's cool and all. Um, it seems like a cool show, right? Um, the problem with television is that there's too many fucking shows. That's why I don't like talking about TV shows or watching TV shows. Cause like, why do I want to fucking invest my time in something like this when it's got its highs and its lows? It's sometimes fun during sometimes it's fun to shit on afterwards. But man, like that's so much fucking time to invest in a show. And me personally, when I get started with a show, I can't fucking stop. Especially being a reviewer, I gotta fucking watch everything, and I gotta nitpick, and I gotta fucking down to the minute detail. And there's a lot of shit that I don't mention on my videos. But Heroes, man, going into it, I was told that it was a huge letdown, and I'm not one to just listen to criticisms and be like, okay, well, yeah, there's these people say it's shit, so it must be shit. I like to give everything a fair shake because if you don't do that, you're susceptible to be just one of the fucking many sheep that just fucking follows what anyone else says. I fucking loved Roger Ebert. Rest in peace. You know, but I'm not gonna base everything, all of my opinions, on his opinions. Like he fucking hates a movie that I fucking loved. Um, I've noticed there's been a lot of movies that got really shit reviews, and I'm like, I don't understand why those got shit reviews. And then someone like explains it to me, like they really break apart the film and say, look at these continuity errors, look at this. I'm like, I still don't care. I like that movie. Like, we can all have differing opinions, and sometimes, I'll hate a fucking movie, and some people are like, why do you hate this movie? And I explain it, and it's like, there's no reason. Like, I can see both sides. So Heroes came out 2006, 4 seasons, ended in 2010. It follows Milo Ventimiglia. I never know how to say this fucking guy's name. Ventimiglia played Peter Petrelli, hospice nurse with the ability to mimic abilities of other people. Spoiler alert: he's the main character. You'll notice this if you haven't seen Heroes before, and you have seen This Is Us, great fucking show. The father, Jack, right? That's his name. Um, the patriarch. Everyone looks up to this guy. This guy was perfect. He had his problems, but he was perfect. Milo Ventimiglia, Milo. I don't fucking know. That guy, Jack, shows that he's a great fucking actor. And Peter Petrelli, to be fair, is a great fucking character. Problem with this show is they had the first season. First season, universally praised. You talk to people about Heroes that actually watched Heroes, they're all in agreement that the first season is the best season. Introduces all of our characters. There's Peter Petrelli. Claire Bennett is the cheerleader. She can regenerate. So we see her, like, one of the promos was her jumping off of like a billboard or somewhere, a water tower or something, screaming on the way down, hitting, and oh my god! And the person that was recording her runs up and like, you okay? And then she like breaks her arm back into place and everything. She's like, yeah, and like blood and just like heals itself, and there's still blood, but she's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, what the fuck? and she's the key for some reason. I can barely remember. Hiro Nakamura, Hiro. So it plays into heroes. Um, Office worker who can manipulate space time. So like, yeah, he's like in an office in Japan. He's just watching the clock, and then he's just like kind of shaking, and the minute hand like goes back like 1 second. He's like, "Yeah, I did it, yeah!" And everyone's just looking at him like, "What the fuck is this guy? Fucking comic book nerd, fucking nerd." And it's like, but he's a great character too. Very lovable guy, chubby little adorable Asian guy. I fucking love chubby Asians. Pro ZD, oh my god, I fucking love that guy. Nathan Petrelli. Yes, the older brother for Peter, congressional candidate. He can fly, and he like has dreams of flying. Peter has dreams of flying. Peter's actually flying. Um, and Nathan's like, oh, I'm actually flying too. Uh, Whenever Peter comes into contact with someone, he can copy their abilities. As I said before, we don't know that. We don't think he has powers for like the longest time. It's like, does he have powers? Is he gonna have powers? Matt Parkman, he can read people's minds. Yeah, he's a cool character. Yeah. Um, Simon DeVoe, who gives a fuck about all this shit? It's really hard, man. And there's different volumes too. There's Genesis, Generations, Villains, Fugitives, and Redemption. Only 4 seasons, but season 3 had 2 volumes for whatever reason. Season 1, Genesis, great fucking season. It all goes to stop this guy who's going to explode in the world. You have to save the world. Played by Zachary Quinto. Oh yeah, there's Mahinder. There's so many characters in here. Siler, that's the character. Such a great name. And Zach Quinto plays a great character in Siler. And the whole like Peter's gonna take on Siler. This is the build up. I've heard some people say that the finale was lackluster. Look. You're building up this huge fight. This is the finale. Um, you know that there's probably going to be a season 2 because season 1 was so fucking amazing. And they have this big clash at the end of the first season. It's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be the best thing in the world. It's not going to be the epic fight that you wanted because there's a second season, there's a third season. It's going to continue. Originally, like in hindsight, you can say that this is shit because a shitty finale because the rest of the show is shit. They had their chance and they blew it. That's not the case. They could have done so much better with the show. We'll get to why they didn't here in a second, but let's finish off season 1. Forgot to mention Ali Larter is in this show. Best known for what's it called? She's known for fucking Noah Bennett. Yeah, Noah Bennett is Claire's father. He's the man with the horn rimmed glasses. He's the employee of a company. He doesn't have any powers yet. I think he eventually gets them. Simon DeVoe. Simone DeVoe. D.L. Hawkins is a convict who can walk through solid objects. He is with Nikki Sanders. Yep, that's her. Ali Larter. She's a single mother with a dangerous alter ego and super strength. She'll like look in the mirror and you'll see like this evil person. Jessica Sanders, Nikki's split personality. Mahinder Suresh, he's a scientist. They have a kid too. I don't know where he is. Isaac Mendez, he's a painter and drug addict with the ability to paint the future. Micah Sanders, yes. He's the son of D.L. Hawkins and Nikki Sanders, and he's a technopath. We don't get that immediately, especially in the first season. Lots of great characters. Lots of great fucking characters. And it's like they had this shit like on lock. Like I think Heroes had some like similar people writing for this show that they had for Lost. Like they had some good shit going on. Season 1 ends. Season 2 starts. Season 2, I enjoyed. A lot of people did not. They said season 1 was the only good season. It's not the case. Season 2 was actually pretty fucking good. Not season 1 good, but season 2 was cool. Oh yeah, fucking so. At the end of season 1, Hero gets involved in the fight between Siler and Peter. He has to play a role in this because he's such an important character. Time travel is a thing. Siler ends up like fucking launching Hero at a building, and he's like flying towards the building, and he's just like, and he's closing his eyes, and then he disappears. It's like, where did he disappear to? He went back to feudal Japan. That's what makes this show really interesting. The time travel aspect from Hero, like he can go back or forward in time. He can do so much. They had like the failsafe was Hero, and they managed to fuck that up too. He goes back in time, and season 2 is all about his road back, and he wants to learn from Takezo Kinsei, who ends up being Adam Monroe. Well, I think he's a villain too. Yeah, he's a fucking villain too. He's a guy like that doesn't age. He's a white dude. I think Mahinder starts to get shit too, get powers too. Monica Dawson. Monica's new. Yeah, she has the power to mimic any physical motion she witnesses. So like she'll be watching like people fighting and shit, and yeah, she'll be fighting. She'll be watching people like do kung fu and shit, and she can do kung fu. Shouldn't click off that because it's too distracting. It's too. I have tunnel vision. Yeah. So season 2 has a lot of cool things in it, and at one point there's like a fire, and Claire's like, "I'll take care of it." Not Claire. What the fuck's her name? Probably Larder's character. Nikki. She's like, "I'll take care of it." So she runs in there. The fire, the house like explodes. So we're like, "Did she die? Did she fucking die?" And yeah, she does. But it's confusing because in season 3, Ally Larder returns as a completely different character. She's like a clone of Nikki, who has ice powers. Season 3 and 4 are such convoluted messes. I really don't even feel like they have like that they should even be talked about. Like, to be honest with you, they were such clusterfucks. Yeah, I think we learned that fucking another Petrelli, another Petrelli is like important. Siler becomes a good guy, like he's evil, and like someone goes into his mind. He's like, I don't want to be bad. They go into his mind, like alter something. And he's like, no, I'm good. It's like, it's not how that fucking shit works. And the writers, the reason why 3 and 4 are so bad, there was a writers' strike. So the writers that they did have for the show, like all the writers left. They're like, no, we want better paychecks and shit. Which is just how like that's a really tricky subject. I believe if we feel like we're not being treated fairly and all that shit, yes, stand up for what you believe in. But man, Heroes was such a great show, and then we had to sacrifice it for a fucking writer's strike at the same time. It's very tricky. But that's what made it such a shit show. Like, shit show. Because it's like we had a good story going. Season 2, like I said, wasn't bad. Season 3 and 4, the writer's strike really fucking derailed everything. They took Ally Larder. They killed her off in the last. They wanted to keep her going. They wanted to keep her character going. The Sanders and everything. But let's like, oh my god, let's like fucking go in a totally different direction. Let's just make her a new character. It's like, what the fuck's the point? If she's gonna die, take her off the fucking show. Don't give her a clone to further confuse the audience, and then give her ice powers. And it's like, wait, what? And then, oh yeah, she's a clone. She's not really. What the fuck is the point? I don't care about this shit. This shit like this and shows like this really piss me off. It's very like insulting to the viewer. It's like, oh, interesting. That was fascinating. And no, it fucking wasn't. It was stupid. It was dumb, and I hated it. And like her son disappears for like a huge period of time, and he's a great character, little kid, little fucking like mixed kid, just fucking. You see him like touching something, and like next thing you know, it's fixed. And it's like, oh, he's a fucking technopath. He can. Oh my god! And there's like some hacker in like the volume 3 or 4. Didn't even occur to me that it could be the technopath because I'm a fucking genius. And when he shows up, I was like in my snuggie, like lights out. It was like probably midnight or 1 in the morning, and I'm just like, oh fuck, like fucking love Micah, but fucking season 3, fucking bullshit. Angela Petrelli, she just looks like a bitch. Yeah, she looks terrible. See, I don't even know who the fuck. Like, what was the thing? What was the plot in this one? It was assassination attempt on Nathan. Nathan dies at one point. I remember that, and then they somehow shape shifted Siler to look like Nathan, and then erased his memories, and then implanted Nathan's. So then Siler was Nathan. It was the same actor playing Nathan, but it was Siler. It was actually Siler. Stupid as fuck. What the fuck, man? So stupid. Yeah, Siler in Nathan's body, I think, ends up telling the President of the United States about people with abilities. So then this whole thing starts out. Yeah, Matt Parkman is instructed to alter Siler's mind so that he believes it's Nathan. Stupid as shit. That's the end of season 3. That's like, that's the cliffhanger? That's fucking stupid. That is dumb as shit. Spit a little bit, I apologize. Season 4, I love how the plot's like new characters introduced in the season. Most are sent around a carnival troupe and their leader. It's like cool. All I remember about season 4, because the seasons are so forgettable, 3 and 4. Like now I'm digging deep into my mind to pull out this stupid bullshit of a show. The finale was actually really good for a series finale. They canceled the show because the writing was so fucking awful. And the ratings were so bad because the writing was so awful. The 4th season ends with them coming to a conclusion: we need to let the world know about us. The government knows about us, but we need to let the entire world. And with the world knowing us, who knows what's going to happen? But maybe they'll accept us, and the government will then have to accept us in return as well. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to film Claire jumping off of a tower. I think they learned that Claire is Peter's sister, like half sister or some shit. So they film Claire jumping off there. This is when Siler gets out of Nathan's body. Oh my god, it's Siler. Or I don't even think it's like that big of a surprise. This fucking show. But then Siler's like mind is altered to be good. Siler looks at Peter in the last minutes and he's like, it's all gonna change, it's gonna be I don't remember what the fuck he says, but it's like supposed to be like, oh man, this is so, and it kind of falls flat because of how shitty the show is, but it's a good last shot for Claire to jump off of there. Sort of like the beginning of the show and the promo when she jumps off. It's like, man, the world's about to change. And then the show ends. It's done. Until they did Heroes Reborn. I was like, God, motherfucker. Because usually when I review something, I'm like, I'm not going to have to watch a lot of this. Like, this is where the set is. Oh, the show's over. Then I'll be like halfway through a season or two, or I'm almost done, and then it's like, it's been renewed for this many seasons, and I'm like, fuck me, especially if it's a bad show. So when Heroes Reborn was announced, they were talking about Heroes coming back. I was like, no, God, no. And then they said it was Heroes Reborn. I'm like, okay, that's something different. It plays into Heroes. It's like a kind of like a sequel miniseries. But like, I don't have to watch that shit because it's called something different. Because those are my rules. So I'm not gonna touch it unless I absolutely have to. But that's Heroes in a nutshell. Me rambling and just like my brain frying from having to just fucking vomit out these. I just hate this show, man. It's so bad. If you're gonna watch it, watch the first 2 seasons and then just skip over all the other bullshit and just watch the finale. Seriously, you'll be confused as shit. You'll be like, "What the fuck, what's Siler doing?" And Siler's such a cool name too for a villain. Siler. Oh, it's like Scyther almost. But those are my bullshit thoughts and ramblings of heroes. Tell me what you thought about this clusterfuck of a show. Stupid fucking show. You guys have a good one.